This is the Otay Mountain radar site, built in 1942 by the United States Army as a reaction to the 1941 bombing of Pearl Harbor. This, along with dozens of other sites along the western seaboard, were used as a preventative measure as an early warning system in the event that the Japanese were to invade the west coast of the United States. This site, designated Bravo 08 and Juliet 08, contained a searching radar as well as a search and ground-controlled intercept radar used to protect the southwest corner of the United States from an invasion either from the ocean or from across the Mexican border.
After Pearl Harbor, paranoia increased about a possible West Coast invasion of Japanese forces. At the time, guns were being emplaced in San Francisco, San Diego, and all along the western coast. 16-inch batteries were located in San Diego Bay, and San Francisco was described as one giant cannon pointed at the ocean. 3 months after Pearl Harbor, February 23, 1942, a Japanese submarine surfaced 10 miles north of Santa Barbara and began firing rounds at an aviation supply point. Over 20 rounds were fired, coming as close as 30 meters and as far as 1 mile inland. The closest gun battery to Santa Barbara at the time was over 100 miles away. This increased the paranoia of a possible invasion. On February 25th, an unknown aircraft flying over Los Angeles caused a yellow alert. Over 10,000 soldiers and volunteers poured into the street to man anti-aircraft guns and spotlights. By 3 o'clock, it had been increased to a red alert. Tensions were high as residents of Los Angeles began to believe that they were about to be invaded by Japanese forces. Over 1,000 individuals in Los Angeles confirmed that they observed 12 to 15 aircraft flying over the city at the time. Though sources aren't able to determine what exactly was over the city, some reports indicated that it was in fact a government weather balloon. Despite this, Spotlight picked up some sort of flying object and anti-aircraft fire began. At 3:16, the sky lit up over Los Angeles as every spotlight was followed by anti-aircraft fire. Literally tens of thousands of pounds of flak was fired into the air over Los Angeles, and the next day, school children were filling their pockets with shrapnel on their way to school. This was the beginning of the anti-Japanese sentiment that followed through the rest of the war and resulted in an internment of Japanese American citizens. All told, 30 individuals were arrested that night, supposedly using the headlights of their cars to signal Japanese aircraft. This is the operations building for the Chain Home Low radar system. Two radar systems were present here on Otay Mountain, approximately 15 miles east of San Diego, facing the Mexican border and out to the ocean. These two radars included a dedicated search radar as well as a ground-controlled intercept radar, which was used to observe aircraft low and medium range. The ground-controlled intercept radar was used to pick up enemy aircraft and push fighter jets to intercept them. Sites were separated into multiple buildings, the long operations center here, and above it, 2 other structures used to house communications equipment and potential generators if necessary. Common spaces were used for the 54 personnel that were required for 24/7 operations. Offices, one with a window, one without, were used for the command deck. It took 3 generators to power both the operations center as well as the buildings up top behind us. These 3 pads house them. 2 generators were used at a time with a 3rd as backup. You can see the flues behind me push the air out in order to prevent exhaust fumes from suffocating the individuals inside.
Today, the electrical equipment, the radar equipment, and the generators are gone. The troughs that used to carry all of the electrical lines that went out to the radars and powered the structures are empty. The boards that covered them up are gone, and now they serve only as an obstacle to the drunken stone teenagers that frequent this spot to party. The foundations of the radar themselves surely only add to the confusion as to what this place used to be.